Hello and welcome to Storytime. I am your Storytime reader, Ms Nikki. Today's read aloud is titled Hot, Hot Roti for Dada-ji. This book is written by author Farhana Zia. When you look at the illustration on the cover by Ken Min, what do you predict this story is about? Okay, now let's look at the title, Hot, Hot Roti. Have you heard the word roti before? Roti is a round flatbread native to the Indian subcontinent, but it is eaten in many countries worldwide. Have you eaten roti? Another word in the title that some readers may not be familiar with is Dada-ji. Dadaji is a Hindi word for paternal grandfather. So Dadaji is your dad's dad. Now you know what the words in the title mean and looked at the picture on the cover. What do you predict the story is about? Let's read and find out together. Hot, Hot Roti for Dadaji. Written by Farhana Zia and illustrated by Ken Min. Anil was glad his grandparents had come to stay. Dadaji was teaching him to stand on his head and to sit like a serene lotus. Dadima's prayer song made him bob his head from side to side, and the sweet curling smoke from her incense stick tickled his nose so. But his grandparents' stories were the best of all. Anil loved hearing about the faraway village with the green wheat fields and the swaying coconut palms. "Who's telling me a story?" asked Anil one day. No one answered. Sweet smoke snaked into his nose and the tinkle of a tiny bell murmured in his ear. Dadima's eyes were closed. "Hari Om, Hari Om," she chanted. Anil turned to Dadaji, who was standing on his head. "Will you tell me a story, Dadaji?" Anil asked. "Haji, yes sir, 1 minute," said upside down Dadaji. Then he flipped over, landing with a soft thud and became a serene lotus on the rug. Anil hopped on his grandfather's lotus lap and Dadaji began. In a village far, far away, where the warm breeze made the green wheat fields dance and the brown coconuts rustle, lived a lad who astonished the villagers morning, noon, and night. Anil winked at Dadaji. After all, the lad in the story was none other than his very own Dadaji, long, long ago. Dadaji went on. In the morning, the lad wrestled a snorting water buffalo, and the villagers cried, "Arre, wah, oh wow!" At noon, he tied 2 hissing cobras in a knot. "Wah!" cheered the villagers. At night, the mighty lad spun 3 trumpeting elephants by their tails. "Wah, wah!" shouted the villagers. What made the lad so strong? It was the hot, hot roti that sizzled and whistled on Badima's wood hut. You see, Badima made the best roti around. Hungry villagers trampled tall fields and swam angry rivers to sniff the fluffy, puffy roti that bubbled and wobbled in ghee on the hot, hot tawa pan. Each day the lucky lad smacked his lips and rubbed his belly and ate a stack so high with a bit of tongue-burning mango pickle. He wanted the power of the tiger Baba. After the lad had gobbled up the last roti, he licked salty specks from his fingertips, one by one, and burped twice. Then the power came rolling in like a great flood. "Arre va!" "Haji, yes sir," said the mighty lad, and off he went to do more wonderful things. He made the earth rumble beneath him in the morning. He shook the giant mango tree for Badima's pickle pot at noon. and he touched the blue sky with his bare feet at night. Are wah, the villagers roared. Wah, wah. Dadaji looked at Anil and rubbed his belly. A rumble grew into a mighty roar. He smacked his lips. Does the lad still have the power, Dadaji? Anil asked. There's only one way to find out, Baba, said his grandfather. Does he want roti today? Anil asked. Haji, hot roti, Dadaji said, his mouth beginning to water. With salty grains to lick, said Anil, and a bit of tongue-burning mango pickle, Dadaji said, drooling a little. Anil ran to ask his mother to make roti, but she was on the phone with Auntie Vinu. So Anil tugged at the edge of Dadima's sari. No roti today, she said with her eyes and shooed him away. Next, Anil tried his dad, who only ruffled the newspaper and dug his nose deeper into the pages. Finally, Anil tried his big sister Kiran, but she didn't want sticky globs of dough getting under her starry nails. Don't worry, Dadaji, said Anil. I watch Mom make roti all the time. I'll help you get your power back. Anil opened the kitchen cupboard. He pushed past the rice and the red lentils. He pushed past the spices and the green lentils. Watch out, cried Mom. Anil found the flour and dumped some into a big bowl. Anil found the salt and dumped that in too. Hi. Oh dear, exclaimed Dadima. So much. But Dadaji loved salt. Next, Anil added the water. Said Mom, so much. Kiran laughed at the watery mess, but Anil didn't care. He just dumped in more flour. Achoo! Kiran sneezed in a floury cloud. Are wah! The boy has talent, cried Dadaji. Anil mixed the flour and water and added more salt and began to knead the dough. He punched and he pushed and he pulled. Are wah! Exactly like Badima, shouted Dadaji. When the dough was smooth, Anil rolled it into balls, enough for a roti stack, as high as the ceiling. Then Anil grabbed a rolling pin and one of the balls. The dough stuck here and it stuck there, but Anil didn't give up. He rolled north and he rolled south. He rolled east and he rolled west. Haji, cheered Dadaji. Here it goes. Bit by little bit, the first roti began to form. It looks like the USA, Kiran said, and laughed. Roti can be any shape, right, Baba? Dadaji said, winking at Anil. Anil rolled out more and more balls of roti dough. Dekho, look! Roti number 10 is a perfect circle, remarked Dadima. Haji, practice makes perfect, said Dadaji. When it was time to cook the roti, Dadima got the tawa, pan smoky hot, and added some butter. The first roti hissed. Very carefully, Dadima helped Anil flip it. The roti danced and sputtered some more, all brown and buttery. Did Badima make them like this? Anil asked. Haji, Dadaji said, nodding. At last, all the roti were ready. Anil piled them up in a high stack. Hot roti for Dadaji, he announced in his biggest voice. Wah, wah, exclaimed Dadaji. He grabbed a warm, steamy roti from the stack and took one bite. And another, and another. He chomped and he chewed. Dadaji said, smacking his lips. Slurp, slurp, slurp. He licked salty specks from his fingertips, one by one. Do you feel the power, Dadaji? Anil asked. Haji, Dadaji said, flexing his muscles. Find me a snorting water buffalo to wrestle. Anil giggled. There are no water buffalo here. 2 hissing cobras to tie in a knot? Dadaji asked. Dadaji, Anil laughed. Well, surely those are 3 elephants I hear trumpeting in the backyard. Dadaji said as he gobbled up another roti and licked the salt from his fingertips. Anything is possible, Baba. Let's see what we can do. Hand in hand, Anil and Dadaji went outside to find new adventures. First, they made the earth rumble under their feet. Then they shook a mighty apple tree for Dadima's pie. Last, they made bare feet touch the blue, blue sky. Dadaji, the power came back, Anil cried. Dadaji smiled. Hanji, he said, the power of the hot, hot roti came back to the lad from a village far, far away. Thank you, my tiger. Thank you. The end. I enjoyed this story and I hope you did too. Anil is lucky to have a fun-loving and supportive Dadaji. If you would like to try making some delicious hot, hot rotis, I've attached a recipe link for you to try in the description box. Okay, readers, until next time, take care of yourself and each other and stay curious.